Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in this channel. Alfred Mutua, Maendeleo Chapchap party leader and Machakos governor, has ditched Azimio la Umoja. Kivutha Kibwana has also had a pre-election pact with Ruben Kigame through his Muungano party. Amason Kingi is talking with Deputy President William Ruto so that he can drop his candidate, the PAR candidate for governor in Kilifi, and support Aisha Jumwa so that he will be given a powerful post in Kenya Kwanza government if they win the election. The question is this: why are they leaving Azimio? The one that has come out public is Alfred Mutua. And I received a question from one of our subscribers here asking me, what is the impact of Alfred Mutua leaving Raila Odinga? Number one, Raila Odinga has now lost the strategy A that was initially there. His Ukambani plan was that he would give the three Ukambani governors, Kivutha Kibwana, Charity Ngilu, and Alfred Mutua, the front seats, so that they will be the face of Ukambani in the Azimio la Umoja. But that was in the light of an understanding that Raila had that Kalonzo was not going to support him, looking at their interaction or the relationship after the 2017 general election, and also the secret document that Kalonzo was carrying all along, working with up and down. So Raila knew that Kalonzo was not going to support him. But the president brought in Kalonzo as part of consolidating a team that will vote in Raila Odinga, that will really deliver Raila Odinga's presidency. When that team was consolidated under the Azimio la Umoja structure, they envisioned a coalition of inclusivity. A coalition where everyone would be there. Everyone was on table. And part of my analysis in this channel, I analyzed at one time and said that Azimio la Umoja had a very elaborate strategy to deliver Raila Odinga presidency, but they were not paying attention to winning the other elective seats, that is the MP, the governor, and the Senate seat, because candidates were likely to clash. Candidates from the same coalition were likely to clash at the polls. But with the way the 2022 political campaign is being framed, it is between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. With that political framing, candidates, voters would likely vote on a 6-piece based on coalition. That I am only going to vote for my governor in Kenya Kwanza, senator in Kenya Kwanza, that. The same way to Azimio. So Azimio was risking losing elective seats to the Kenya Kwanza team. And in a way to try to address that, that is why the party zoning sinked in. But that did not sit comfortable with some members of the coalition. And that is why Alfred Mutua and the team were protesting. Because to some extent, the way Raila Odinga explains it, it seems that there is going to be another level of zoning where they will assess candidates, and most popular candidates that are likely to deliver win to the coalition are the ones that will be allowed to go and vie. And that is why Alfred Mutua has actually left to join Kenya Kwanza. So that is where we are. And the question here is this: what other? The other thing is the perception of betrayal. Now, I know it will not have a big influence on the election, but the fact that William Ruto and the whole Kenya Kwanza brigade, William Ruto, Wetangula, Mudavadi, they're all talking about they were being betrayed or they are victims of betrayal, and now even people who are already members of Azimio heading to Kenya Kwanza because they're betrayed, that perception, or rather that narrative, is sinking in the minds of voters. And With that coming in, William Ruto campaign strategy team will communicate and say that you don't need to trust Azimio because the trust issues, even things they're promising Kenyans, might not be there. And this might be taking the analysis too far. But this is what would this is how this narrative of mistrust would affect Raila's manifesto. People will not trust Raila when he speaks about the 6,000, when he speaks about supporting single mothers, when he speaks about Baba Care, because this is what Kenyans will be sold, that they are lying, they only wanted to get power. So to me, the question of perception going on, it's a big loss. But again, Raila's strategy for Ukambani 1 has collapsed. That leaves him with no option but to make sure they work with Kalonzo Musyoka. Because we should not bury our heads in the sand. The direct route to get Ukambani vote and for Raila to mount a successful presidential stab, he must make sure that the 92% Ukambani vote he got in 2013 and 2017 are intact. And so this puts Kalonzo in a very precarious condition because the governors are leaving because of him. And if they leave because of him, he has no option but to stay there. Otherwise, he's going to be blamed that he was trying to rock the Azimio boat from within. Now, in this video, I want us to look at what Uhuru and Raila should urgently do to avert this looming earthquake on Azimio la Umoja. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, I want to kindly request you to subscribe, click the notification bell, and also give us your feedback. Show us your feedback. What exactly do you think Raila has lost in Alfred Mutua? Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta must then come out with strategic Ukambani vote strategy. They must answer that question. They've been trying to postpone that question. It must be answered, because when Alfred Mutua crosses the other side and Kivutha Kibwana, because there is also that party zoning, and Kenya Kwanza do not have a strong candidate for Senate in Makueni, most likely he could also team up with William Ruto so that he survives politically. What is most likely going to happen is Ukambani will be a swing vote before they know. And the biggest loser, if Ukambani becomes a swing vote, is Raila Amolo Odinga. So and I've captured like 3 aspects they need to do. One is they must answer the question of the 2 governors. If Alfred Mutua has left, Kivutha Kibwana has not left officially because he is still he just had a pre-election pact with Ruben Kigame, who is a presidential candidate, but of course that is just a friendship agreement. He can still be there. If they are going to give the 2 governors front seats, that should be seen. But the most critical one they must address is what is in for the Kamba nation in Azimio. That question must be answered, because I had Mike Sonko speaking the other day that Kalonzo Musyoka had been promised the speaker. I don't know of Senate or National Assembly. I think of National Assembly. But that is not a post that Kalonzo will take. Now, with Alfred Mutua crossing over the other side, the concentration is also getting momentum. And when William Ruto makes a 2 in Ukambani, they're going to tell the Ukambani voters what is in Kenya Kwanza. Now, if Azimio are not going to give Kalonzo Musyoka the running mate, and they have a powerful, super powerful position of Prime Minister, they must make it now be prominent. They must give it, and they must also, I think they should also say how it is going to be delivered. If you're talking about a Prime Minister, how are you going to deliver it? Is it the first 50 days? Is it the first 20 days? Is it the first 5 days? And how? So that it's also be laid bare in public. When you say that, when you provide that in Azimio, that is already going to compare with what is the other side, with what is in Kenya Kwanza, because If Alfred Mutua is going to speak over 20%, then this side Kalonzo might speak over 40% with the Prime Minister's post. Of course, they're going to wage it out. About the Ukambani vote, I don't think Alfred Mutua has a vote. No. To say the truth, Alfred Mutua has 10% of some civil servants that were working for the county government who might also be frustrated, and some few people here and there. But when it comes to general election, they will take the direction that Kalonzo Musyoka will take. A wild one. Someone was saying, is Raila Odinga sending Alfred Mutua to Kenya Kwanza so that Kalonzo will feel uncomfortable following Alfred Mutua, to make sure that Alfred Mutua is locked on Azimio la Umoja? In a discussion, someone was thinking about that, but that is also a bit of what is happening. The other approach that then must be on table is, it is time for Raila and Uhuru to reach out to Kalonzo's hardliners and aspirants to cloak their allegiance around Azimio la Umoja. This is possible, and there are 4 people that for me I'm trying to look at. One is Mutola Kalonzo Jr. He's been so vocal. 2 is Enoch Wambua. 3 is this legislator. There is this one here that looks very cool, and like, for lack of a better, it looks like he's confused or some. What is the name? Yes, Dan Manzo. I think he's a Makoni MP. Then also get the Machakos County the governor aspirant Wavinya Ndeti. Now, if you get these 3, it is time to try to pluck them off from Kalonzo Musyoka, give them an allegiance here. If you can box these 3, Kalonzo will be a lone ranger. And before you know, Kalonzo will have to remain, because there is a possibility here that there is no way of getting Kalonzo's Ukambani votes without Kalonzo. Sad enough, that is the tragedy we have. Now, I want to look at the second aspect to avert this fallout. One of the issues that is coming out is party zoning strategy. Now, they have to restructure the party zoning strategy. In this channel, I analyzed at some point that Azimio was concentrating on the presidential ballot, but they did not have a good strategy for the other elective posts, and they were risking getting presidency without the soldiers. But true to that, even the Azimio, even Raila Odinga's team were also cognizant of that fact. That is why, after making the 3-legged stool of Wiper, ODM, and Jubilee, there was that other 4th stool, but they realized that the push for inclusivity was a risk. And so what happened was that they did that zoning, that party zoning. So that party zoning was done, and it was anchored on the 3 parties. I think that's what was shared, and that is why that document is not being released. But in my understanding, if it was to be restructured, I would buy what Raila was telling the Mount Kenya aspirants, that they will do another phase of opinion polls, or maybe just try to assess the candidates and find most popular candidates to fly Azimio tickets. Now, this is what would happen. If I were Raila and Uhuru and I wanted to avert this, you'll allow that party zoning, but also include the other small parties. For example, if you have a strong if you have a strong Maendeleo Chap candidate in Machakos, you'll give that candidate the ticket at the Azimio and withdraw the ODM and Jubilee and Wiper candidates. That will be so much specific, because if you refer to the 2017, it's very easy. If Maendeleo Chap won an MP seat or an MCA seat in a ward, it is not asking for more if you still allow them to field that candidate. Just like in Nairobi, there is Embakasi West, where Mawade is a Wiper MP, and he won through Wiper. So what the coalition did, they gave Wiper that one MP seat in Nairobi, because the rest of the seats went to ODM and Jubilee. So this is something that they would have done and accommodate the other small parties. If you go to Mombasa or Kilifi and the PA party has a strong MP candidate, you negotiate. withdraw all the UDA, all the Jubilee and Wiper candidates, and give that one candidate the ticket to fly, so that these small parties will also feel accommodated. But exclusively zoning that is locking out other small parties is what I think is bringing this agitation. And better still, if that was a problem, the second phase is you make the fourth stool, then the three legs, they make the fourth leg, then the three legs shares seats, but to leave some seats for the fourth leg of the stool, so that they share those seats. That is something that I will look. Then one other aspect is they must hold Kalonzo responsible for the fallout. They must hold Kalonzo, because what is bringing all this party zoning of, I'm saying this because of this. The two governors that are aggrieved, the Alfred Mutua and Kivutha Kamana, are from Mukambani, and Kalonzo is on record saying that he wants Wiper to have exclusive seats in the area. So there is also party zoning in Central, in Western, where ODM is squaring it out with the DAPK, and they've given, the two of them has given candidates tickets, and of course they're going to face off. I don't know why it is becoming a little bit difficult for Kalonzo to accommodate the rest of the team. Now when you do that, Kalonzo is going to be seen as someone who is trying to break Azimio from within, because the three governors were given front seats, he came, dethroned them, and so if he's held responsible, he'll be told that if you knew you didn't want to be here, you would have just stayed out. Lastly, let them create the powerful fourth leg in the coalition. Now that fourth leg must be made powerful and given strength and given stakes, because what does it take? Give Alfred Mutua a portion, give give the power portion, give all this, so that it can be handled. The most contentious issues where these small parties are, why these small parties are actually complaining, is because of the political parties fund. Now it's saying that the minimum number of MP, and I think MP, governor and MCA, so long as you won 1-1-1, you're a political party and you qualify for the political parties fund. Now if they are locked out, they will not get the political parties fund. So if you are to work with the three-legged stool, then you must also explain how the small parties, because these parties also, they have interests, they have party leaders that may want to use them even past the August 9th general election, how they are going to benefit from the political parties fund, legislation to the East African Assembly, and nomination, nomination to the East African Assembly, nomination to the National Assembly. You must then address how that is done, even though some of these aspects are, some of these issues are actually in law. But with that, there is need to avert the fallout. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my analysis.